responsible for our own actions, but also help others to understand. Because you know what? I know people see me picking up that trash. I'm walking down the road with a little bag and I'm tossing it in.
You're teaching.
Teaching, yeah. And sometimes through our own actions, our own responsibilities, other people see that and they'll change because they see.
That reminds me of another thing too, and this is something that I try and do, and I don't do it often enough because I'm an introvert. But I have gone out of my way when we've been out shopping and that sort of thing. If there's somebody wearing a hat, World War II veteran, Vietnam veteran, I'm a veteran myself, but I always thank others for their service. Mm-hmm. I thank law enforcement people. When I see them, I just say, hey, thank you for your service. I know it's a difficult job. Thank you for what you've done. And those are those little things that we can do. That's like picking up the trash.
Yeah.
That's acknowledging somebody for their human service. And it's appreciated by them. And it's little things like that change the dial. And we need more of it. And sometimes it's up to people like you and I to make little reminders out there. And it may come to the time where we have to get louder. And I believe we're there. We had that conversation earlier. Yeah. It's time for us to raise our voices a little bit more so that we can be heard above the din of the negative.
Well, and you know what? It's a great time if you're listening. I challenge you, if you're listening, to thank a service member or somebody in uniform. Because, those people, when they get up in the morning, they know that they might not come home. And the bulk of society doesn't have to deal with that every day. Literally they are putting their lives on the line for our safety and protection. And that could be, from our police officers, our military, but even our firefighters and people in the hospital. And the list goes on of first responders and people that are here for us. And I think we really have taken that for granted. And we do need to thank them more often.
And there's even, I'll go a step further and say, if you really want to understand what it's like, you could call your local sheriff's department, your local police department, and ask them if you could do a ride-along. Mm-hmm. They will, a lot of times, let you go on a shift, and you get to see what it's like. And if you really want to see what it's like, go on a nighttime ride-along, because it can be terrifying, but you will have a whole new appreciation for what our men and women in uniform go through. Yeah. And it's scary.
Yeah. Yep. Ask for a precinct that you wouldn't go into yourself at night because it's not safe or it's just not the place that you'd want to be.
In Montana, we don't have the ability to have partners. So we've got these law enforcement officers who are out there flying solo. And in our county, they could be 70 miles away from any help.
Yeah.
Without backup.
Yeah.
It's scary.
It's scary. Absolutely. Well, I think we've learned some great qualities on the Warpath, and there is 4 more that you can discover through Rod's book. And I will tell you, because I've heard him live, it's worth picking up and learning and reading and getting some value out of that. So thank you for writing the book. Thank you for sharing. Just to touch real quick back on your running for an office here, City Council in Kalispell. What is your message to people that may want to vote for you and that are listening to the show that have an interest in who you are?
I think the first message is experience matters. And there are a lot of people that come and want to just get involved right away with local government because they think it's broken without understanding how it works. Mm-hmm. And the thing that separates me is I didn't understand how it worked until I got involved. But I was involved in a different area before I ran for city council. And experience matters. And good judgment matters. Mm-hmm. And you can't just jump in. And it takes a good 2 years to understand the full function of a job on city council or for county commissioners, that sort of thing. It's a steep learning curve. And we don't have time to be training. Mm-hmm. We can't get you from kindergarten to graduate school in 2 years. We don't have time for that today. We've got too many pressing issues with, trying to get our economy back on track, trying to balance what's going on with fires, with COVID and everything else. There's not time to train. We need experience, and that's what I offer. That's really what I bring to the table. Number one, I'm good at what I do, and I've done great work. I've got a great track record, and I was out campaigned last time. I was outspent and out campaigned, and I'm not going to make that mistake again.
Sure. You know, I read in the some of the local newspapers and magazines. There's a lot of things going on in this town in terms of growth, and you're going to have the opportunity, if elected, to be a part of that. Do you have a vision for the city?
I have a vision that I probably shouldn't talk about, because my vision is for the next 100 years. And if I told you what I see in the next 100 years happening here, you probably wouldn't believe it, or you'd think I was crazy. So yeah, I have a vision, but I have stepping stones along the way.
Yeah.
And that's the most important part.
As any smart person would. Well, it is exciting to see things going in down there. We've got new parks and trails. We've got a new hotel coming in that is going to respect what the city looks like. Hopefully their values are aligned with our city values. I've looked at some of the plans. I know where they come from. And, I hope that they will integrate and make the town better. I think we have an incredible downtown. I've lived in some pretty bad ones. And when I say bad, I just mean missed opportunity.
Right.
And we've got a thriving downtown, great business hours, ice cream stores, breweries, sushi, Thai food, bars, a little bit of everything, and an awesome Western store with a soda 5 and dime attached to it. I don't even think they call them that anymore, but I do. So, gosh, I just wish you the best in your campaign, and I think that the city of Kalispell would be lucky to have you.
Thank you very much, Jim. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So if you're listening to the show, I encourage you, go out and get this book, The WARPATH Alliance. It's not about politics, but it's really about values and deploying your superpowers. Rod, where can they get this, by the way?
Amazon.com.
Okay. I'm going to put the name in the show notes. So if you didn't hear it earlier on, The WARPATH Alliance by Rod Kuntz, Kuntz, it will be in the show notes. Go to Amazon. I still use them too. I hate it, but I do.
Yeah.
But that's for another podcast.
Good idea.
Yeah, well, it's Friday. Enjoy your weekend. I'm taking the kids to the Cirque du Soleil performance tonight and following one of my values, and that's family, and enjoying that. So
have a great time.
Yeah. Again, thank you for coming down. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Jim.